All right, everyone, welcome to your midweek Major League Wingspan. We've got an awesome game here for you today between Eskele and Captain Awesome, a Western Conference match. Both players are doing quite well in the tournament. We'll talk a little bit about that once we get into things. I am Plexa, and I'm joined by Lowfat. How you doing, Lowfat?
Hey, Plexa, how's it going? I'm looking forward to another MLW game. This is our, I believe, second or third open to be streamed game.
Third game, yeah. I
Third
mean,
game,
so if
yes.
you're a big fan of getting your game streamed, if you're using the Open to be Streamed role on the Discord, then maybe we'll get your game featured on the channel, which will be pretty cool. With that
Uh,
out of the way, I can get the players to send, and best of luck to both, and we can get into things.
Now, I am looking forward to this game all week. Both players doing extraordinarily well in their divisions. Captain Awesome up first. Ooh, what do you think about this hand?
Yeah, I think before we get into the hand, Captain Awesome is currently 6-0 in Major League Wingspan, which is a crazy strong record, and Escal is like I think it's like 17-6 or something silly like that. They're on an 11 streak win record in Major League Wingspan, which is crazy good.
He's on,
Interesting hand
yep,
is
he's on
super
top of his
interesting.
division, yeah.
Yeah, interesting starting hand. I mean, this is probably the keep. I mean, the Willow Warbler. I don't know how to feel. I feel about this bird. I feel like if you can't get it down in round one, it's not very good, and it's kind of hurting tempo if you're not. If you are keeping it, the Nightingale and the Martin could be sufficient here, maybe. And Drongo, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about this bird. This bird can be a menace. It can be just super annoying. Very hard to make a read on that one. What's your thoughts on
Yeah, I
Drongo?
definitely I I definitely concur. It's more so that they have to be building up a forest engine. It's so easy to avoid getting nectar if necessary. So I really see that bird going down late round one, early round two to maximize its effectiveness. But I do like the Martin and the Nightingale for maybe some drawing options. And then, I mean, star nest birds are so useful, especially with these two in the round. So there's some consideration there. But as you said, if it's not a round one play, eh, I concur. It's one of those maybe leave it behind, and that's what Captain Awesome may be doing.
Yeah, well, I mean, they got five decent birds to choose from at least. Like even the Godwit, definitely something that is worth considering. A very nice tempo bird. Get a bonus card out of it as well. I can't quite tell what their bonus card is at the moment, but I'm sure we'll figure that out.
Yeah, looks like they're having some stream issues right now. It's like I'm looking through their game through a uh,
Ooh.
pixelated. And my goodness, look at this hand. I feel like I've been burned so often with Phil, but with two great bonus cards, that's a definite keep here. Rodentologist and a mechanical engineer. We haven't really talked about that starting tray. Is the Munia a turn one grab for you?
It depends. I mean, if already got your draw sorted, probably not. Um, I think maybe Captain Olsen is thinking about it because they didn't keep the Martin, and maybe they want to use that as a draw. It's kind of like a nice self-sustaining flip the tray bird with the free seed. But I suspect if it's not taken, and it is insanely good for Escal right now. Like Franklin Skal, Mania, getting food and cards and eggs all in one habitat. That's pretty good. Woodstock is also very appealing as well. So I do wonder if someone's going to spend their nectar to do that. I imagine Captain Orson is not interested in doing that because they've got Spangled Drongo, and if they spend that nectar, they won't be able to play it. It looks like the bonus card is Viticulturalist, so maybe the Munia is in their sights. So I guess remains to be seen.
Yeah, I concur. And it's interesting that that Eskel is not going for this berry bird. Whenever I'm choosing birds, I'm always very cognizant the fact that keeping two birds, keep four food, right? Maximize that tempo. And I feel like that's the right play here. By just keeping these two birds, they're able to plop both the eagle and the goal as quick as you can, maybe gain some food and start start just digging with that gold.
Well, they
And
didn't keep eagle food though, which is kind of intriguing.
yeah, yeah, that's true. Actually, I hadn't even seen that. So maybe it will be uh, picking up that Franklin's goal. Excuse me, picking up the Munia with the Franklin's goal and immediately playing it. I believe that is the plan here. And we do see that Spangled Drongo go down
Yeah,
immediately. So we'll see
if you're
how.
keeping
Yeah,
if you're keeping Drongo, you got to play it. It's simple as that.
yeah, yeah. It's one of those birds that I probably wouldn't keep in the opening hand, but we shall see how effective it is.
Yeah,
And
I think there is.
yeah,
I think there is a small decision here, like whether or not you want to deny the Munir. Seems like Captain Awesome is content to give it away. I think there's a bit of a risk. I think this is going to give Eskele a really strong position, just like very early on in this match. Wouldn't be surprised if they take Woodstalk. I can understand why they might want to try and find another engine component as well. We could have ourselves a really scary Grasslands engine. I love to see that. I love a good Grasslands engine game.
yeah. I think with Stork you hold off on. The priority is that engine, but it definitely hits both the round one and round four. Although I doubt we'll see the Wood Stork come in as quick as we do. But there he goes picking it up. Meanwhile, revealing Prairie Chicken Blackturn. Both nice
Yeah,
birds in their own right. But I think
yeah. I think
Captain Oz got an. Oh, they might be tempted. Might be tempted.
they might be tempted by the turn. Actually, their draw power is kind of bad. With basically only their Nightingale to speak of. And the Prairie Chicken is kind of really good for them. So, okay, no, they are tempted by Prairie Chicken.
Yeah, it looks like they're
Uh,
gonna stick with that Nightingale in the wetlands option. And
yeah,
down goes the Munia.
I would have thought Prairie Chicken could have been left. I don't think Eskele really wants to play that in their Grasslands engine. I think that probably hurts their overall, you know, production of points, basically. But I understand it's a bonus bird. You love bonus birds. They do a good job. And Eskele's just
And
gonna
what
keep
a
drawing
surprise. Yep.
because
Yeah, laying eggs and digging.
remains to be seen how their game's going to unfold. They're just going to keep on searching. I don't think anything in that tray really should be tempting them right now.
They may
Or
be
maybe it's
thinking
okay.
of a deny option, but wow, a Sandpiper. Oh, revealing an Avocet. Ah, interestingly enough, Captain Awesome disregards the Avocet. Uh, I think that's a mistake. You see a grassland engine developing, you pick up that bird right there and force your opponent to pay for every time they lay eggs. So we'll see if
Yeah.
Escale denies.
The Avocet's not super good for him though. Like he doesn't have a really convenient source of ground nest. Like he's got the loon, but the loon only has one egg capacity. The prairie chicken's not easy to get down. Like without the additional food generation from the Strongo, the Avocet is not that spooky. And now the Kukul's come up, and the Kukul is a far better fit here. Much
I
easier to play.
concur.
They actually have the food to play it immediately. I think they
Yes.
got massively bailed out there, like hugely bailed
Yes.
out. Like the Avocet was such a
A
poor fit.
hundred
The
percent.
Kukul is so much better.
100%. I concur. And interestingly enough, the black-tailed Gotwood goes down first before the Nightingale, which again, yes, it hits the end round, but you really want to be playing those brown powers early in. Maybe you don't want to be giving food to Grassland Engine. So yeah, I can see the logic in playing the Gotwit over the Nightingale.
Yeah, I mean, the Godwood's going to give you the ability to search for, a couple cards out of the box and the tempo to pick up that Kukul. Like, you wouldn't be able to do that with the Nightingale. So I understand it. I don't hate it. I can see the logic.
The scale still digging for some grassland birds. And we see a nuthatch. I assume they have to place something in their forest. Gotta gotta find the food source from somewhere. Not getting lucky with those engine birds. While we expect Captain Awesome, yep, to put down that kukul immediately, which is the correct play.
For sure. Again, pink powers, you want them in the game early. This Drongo has been a massive disappointment so far with the Skull kind of just avoiding Nectar. Um, but the Kukul, well, now that's going to force something out of a Skull for sure. Like, they've got to start doing other things. They really want to avoid giving away the free egg, although I don't really know how realistic that is. This is a good time to
Well,
take
this right
nectar, though.
now isn't. I was just about to say optimal time since your opponent's going to get that one nectar and have no means to actually play a bird with it. It's probably just going to be used to reset the tray, if that.
Which is still actually useful, right? Like resetting the tray is never bad, and maybe it's gonna reveal something good for them. Bell's Vireo, common cook.
And a
There
cuckoo.
you
There we
go.
go. And
But would you have
but
preferred to have the
he
white
would have
throat or the grackle?
loved those two. Yeah, white throat and grackle are A
I think
birds.
I think
Uh,
Eskele here, boy, it doesn't go for the forest here and actually spends the nectar to pick up both of those. I think those are both two premier birds. I think even if you're running Franklin Skull, getting a white throat can still work. You can build it out in your forest. You can nab the eggs off of that for the gull. Grackle gull is really nice. Like I don't know, that seems really really nice for him.
yeah, I concur. I feel like with that card generator, and you've already got some cards that you won't be playing, so uh, you might as well grab that grackle and continue building uh, this grassland. You want it built up by round two and the bird, but
But
no, it looks like
okay,
Sandpiper's going in. Early Sandpiper, we love to see it. Ooh,
not the. I mean, Nestbox builder you keep because you kind of have to because Ranger is
you got
terrible,
2 stars, right?
and
Five
Ranger is
is
just
just such
terrible.
an awkward spot. Awkward spot. And now here comes the tricky part, because Captain Awesome has just not great card draw. Are you really going to give up 2 cards for a bonus card? And it looks like he is.
You can give up
Looks
the
like that
Nightingale
loon's
here,
in
and
the way.
it's not the end of the world. I still don't agree with the Sandpiper. I think these birds are always bad, except in like very, very, very small windows. I think the Grackle would have been a tremendous boon to a skull just to be able to. Anytime you've got Franklin Skull and a Tucker Bird, it's really good. You'd prefer like Cedar Waxwing or Dark Eyed Junko to get the food, but still very, very, very good.
I concur. It's kind of difficult to be finding grassland engine. So if you find one that gives you 2 points and it sustains itself with that egg that the goal can then take off of, that's the way to go. But hey, Black Drongo is coming up, and that can kind of serve as a replacement. I think we've talked about this in the past, that a Black Drongo followed by uh, tuck and draw or a goal, a mini white stork, and we love it. We love a mini white stork.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is it's not a consistent point gainer. I mean, it's pretty consistent because you will be flipping the tray pretty aggressively. Um, but yeah, it's really it's not as clear cut as Grackle, which is like you tuck a card, you get 2 points basically. Whereas this one's more of a soft power, reset the tray, see a lot more cards, play the best birds kind of bird. So I can see the argument for it. I can also see the argument against it. I don't know if I like the Longspur unless it's a denial pick. Hooded Crow seems a very strange keep, but yeah, Drongo and
More so,
Longspur, I can.
hood. Yeah, I can see Hooded Crow being a deny. Ooh, great birds coming up. The reason why I like Black Drongo so much is when your opponent has such weak card draw and you're constantly revealing the tray, they're just going to be constantly drawing these birds instead of, uh, doing other things like developing your forest or your grassland. But
Well,
we'll
I
see.
I
I,
I have the opposite perspective on that. I think when my opponent's got bad card draw, I want to be forcing them into spending their resources on flipping the tray to find birds. Like as you've just seen here, revealing 2 birds off the top of the tray has revealed Ruff and Willy Wagtail, which is just kind of given Captain Awesome a new lease on life. Like they synergize naturally into each other. The extra cards can go really well in the forest. Like, oh, they're gonna leave the Wagtail behind. That's very interesting. Sad Martin's come
curious, and
up.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know Wagtail is not got the best reputation as a infamous Rule 16 bird, but its ability to live anywhere, that's where you start developing that forest or a grassland. But yeah, I guess without that additional card draw, rough going down means you're gonna have to be tucking some potentially good birds. Um, but here we go with
Yeah.
Scale finally getting something up in the forest. You can't just subsist on wheat.
I mean, you can, but it's just not very pleasant.
Not very nutritious for sure.
Yeah, you'd love to see a hummingbird or something to give a more well-rounded diet for sure. But the nuthatch does produce more seeds, and well, I don't know if that's kind of good at the moment.
Uh, no nectar coming up so far for either player, so it's not doing great, Drongo.
Yeah, I mean that's classic Drongo denial gameplay. I mean, not that there was even nectar available, but the rule of thumb is you just don't take nectar for the first 2 rounds and then take it all in round 3 plus, and at that point the significant tempo investment of the Drongo has not really paid off, and you can just kind of laugh all the way to the end of the game. But we'll see exactly when Eskele decides to turn on the nectar. It might be only once they've built out more of a forest, or they may just go full engine. I guess they still have a little bit of a decision to make here, though. They are starting to build up some really nice birds for non-engine work, like this Woodstock, this Black Noddy, both really good big birds to be playing. May be helpful for some of these EORs as well.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised that we're not seeing this grassland built up. I mean, the hawk is staring you at the tray. It's very helpful for the last EOR, but looks like Escale's going to be targeting this long spur, maybe for that egg capacity. Uh, and what
Well,
I'm really surprised is the eagle Phil has still not entered the game, and round one, understandable. You got to focus on getting these birds down in the grasslands. But I mean, hopefully Skill hasn't forgotten that they kept the fill.
yeah, I always find when you're doing grasslands, like usually with Raven, it can be a bit awkward to get fill into the game because you've got like this desire to fill out the grasslands as fast as possible to get the 4 egg activation running and to really supercharge your engine, feel good about scoring points. But playing Phil in the forest doesn't really contribute to that game plan at all. But you want to give him as much opportunity as possible to get into the game, because if you don't, you're not going to get that bonus card or get the potential of multiple bonus cards. So it's a bit of a tricky situation. The Skull really has to decide whether they want to get Phil into the game or not now, basically. Do you build out another spot in the grasslands with the long spur, or do you commit to Phil and see if Phil can find you a bonus card?
Gotta be honest, I'm surprised that Captain Awesome went out of the way and grabbed Swainson Hawk. Unless they're also trying to build a grassland engine, uh, or maybe try to do something for this end of round. But with all of the birds that you have in your hand that you want to be playing, your bonus birds, I don't see Swainson Hawks as being anything fantastic for them. Meanwhile, first data analyst and food web expert showing up, and maybe there's an argument for not playing Phil with that analyst, not playing it immediately, anyways.
Yeah, always awkward, the analyst cards. Not always playing birds in a sequence is annoying, but when it's not your main habitat, in this case it's not, then maybe it's achievable. But food web is, you've got this common swift, but I don't know. I find food web to be such a dangerous keep in the era of Asia. Just not that many food web expert birds in the deck anymore. Very difficult to find those when you need them. Data analyst probably the more reliable point scorer. It's not like the Swift is going to do good work in the grasslands anyway. No big source of worms to keep it fed. So, but we are going to see it kept. I can understand that if you want to play Phil, playing Phil now would definitely make achieving analyst incredibly difficult.
Yes, it would. You'd have to try to find one of those starbirds, or maybe, uh, one of the big hornbills. But it looks like we probably
Yeah,
will see Phil come in. Um,
Phil's a big boy.
and meanwhile, I don't think there's been some egg laying on Eskel's part for a minute, and so now Captain Awesome's in this precarious situation. It's like, hey, should I lay eggs? But no, it looks like they're drawing,
It looks like they
grabbing
picked up
that.
Graceful.
Yeah,
Looks like they picked up Graceful Prinier alongside Wilson Storm Petrel. So if the pixelated blob is not lying to me. All right,
Interesting. I'm
Eskele.
just not seeing much direction from Captain Awesome as we get to the end of round two. So
Yeah, I mean,
hoping that the rough, saves them, and maybe again you've got these big point birds. You gonna need some more food than a Drongo that's barely doing anything. I think they did
yeah,
receive a nectar.
they did receive a nectar. But because the skull is not laying eggs, this kukul is now very sad. So the skull is playing really intelligently around these pink powers and really making it annoying because Captain Awesome really wants to not lay eggs, but it's probably going to have to.
It
Looks like
looks
they're
like
having some
Eskele is
connection
having
difficulty.
some. Yep,
Captain
yep.
Awesome is, yeah. So quick restart of the app and back in. But I do think this rough could be a lifeline that is at least a reliable point scorer. Hopefully, should be able to get 9 tucks by the end of the game, and that's excluding round 4. That gives you 6 opportunities to find really, really strong birds to play. And the Wingspan is a pretty crazy game. A couple birds going in either direction that are just conveniently timed, and the fortunes can turn around.
For sure. And I'm wondering if these three end of round goals are maybe influencing a scale to like go into the grasslands. He's going to need to find either star or cavity nest, or uh, thick nest in order to even qualify for ends round three and
Oh, you
four.
mean
But
Captain Awesome? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Captain Awesome, yes, yes, yes.
All good. Yeah. I mean, Clark's Creep. No, I mean, Wilson Storm Petrel kind of fits that description, doesn't it? It's a Stardust bird. Oh, I am.
I see that they gained food, and they're in for a heartbreak, unfortunately.
Yeah, I feel like something
Uh,
has been mismanaged there. That is really unfortunate. I think they're expecting a skull to take eggs, but Eskele just took nectar. That's a strong signal they're going to play a bird. So now they're going to be in
yeah,
this really awkward position.
that they're going to have to lay eggs or reset that tray. Yep, forgot he does not have eggs. Oof,
That's a
heartbreaking.
painful one.
Yep, you got to use
That's
up
to
that nectar. Might as well.
Yep, got to make the best of a bad situation now. That's very unfortunate.
All right, and here we see Phil doing what Phil does. Wow, that is not what I meant. Phil actually hitting. Look at that,
And
Oolologist,
Uologist.
a
Okay.
perfect bonus card for Grassland Engine.
Yeah, I mean, Bird Feeder is pretty terrible. Very difficult bonus card to max out intentionally, I think. With the strong grasslands already online, Uologist is very natural. It works really well with EOR3 as well, so very natural keep there. But this rough, let's see what the rough can do.
Like Captain Awesome is going to need a lifeline here.
Yeah,
Some
needs something.
direction.
Looks like
Looks like,
Clark's Reap didn't. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Looks like needs that star nest for in rounds 3 and 4.
Yeah, I think this is looking really hard for Captain Olsen at the moment. I think no real
Yep.
food production to speak of, no real grasslands to speak of, no real draw power to speak of. It's been a bit of a struggle.
It's a shame because they do have like nice birds in their hand. I think they still have the Vireo. They have some grassland birds. Uh, I would expect the petrol to have gone down as well. That had a star nest. So yeah, I think their connection issues might have just thrown off their game, and they're just having
Yeah,
to
entirely
reestablish
possible.
their pivot. Meanwhile, Eskel, we have not seen them lay eggs yet, and utilize this Drongo. So I'm curious how this mini white stork works out. they also have some nice big pointers. So uh, maybe as we see a certain common cuckoo go down, they'll pivot away from laying as many eggs as they would like to. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I think even if you play the cuckoo right now, it's quite late in the game. It doesn't feel good to be playing a pink power at the start of round 3. I don't know how much time there realistically is left in the game for them to be scoring a lot of points off that card. Because I don't think we're going to see too much more egg laying in this game. We'll see a bit, obviously, because the last two ends of rounds demand it, but not to the point where I think it pays itself off, especially given that we've got so many other problems to solve on Captain Olsen's side.
Mhm.
Hooded Warbler, no
About to say,
way.
you gotta keep an eye out for these different bird nests. And wow, a cup nest like the hooded warbler.
It's
Just
also a
such a
food
great
web
bird.
bird.
It's such a great bird.
So that's exactly the bird they want to find because it's both food web expert and it's another bowl nest. So I mean, they've kind of solved their problems there, I think.
And that hooded warbler literally is mechanical engineer complete on their eighth bird. So well done, well done.
Yeah,
And yeah,
gold
we see
star
a common
for
cuckoo.
extra credit. Yeah, I
Common
mean it
cuckoo
makes
went down.
sense. You could see they wanted to play it at the end of last round, so that's their priority now. It makes sense. But I don't know how often that's going to get triggered. I think Eskele is probably going to want to play food, hooded warbler, food, woodstock, eggs, probably. At which point the cuckoo's getting one
Exactly.
activation.
Exactly. Yes. I mean, you brought it up, but round three is kind of late, and by that point, you've acquired enough eggs, acquired enough cards, so you're not really hitting that grassland engine. Why, you know, activate it potentially give your opponent 2 points when you're getting maybe what 3 points, four if you're using the Munya.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. Rather grab food and play those big birds that you've found.
Yeah, I think the tell here is that Eskele hasn't actually committed to a genuine engine strategy here. It's kind of like been this soft egg and card, let's see as much as we can kind of strategy, which is I think usually the right way to play grasslands these days, with the grass being typically seen as the weakest habitat. Just find the good birds to play, build up a supply of good birds, and then play them. And that just means you don't not using the grasslands as much as you would in an engine. In an engine, you're hitting that 5 times in round 4, maxing out your eggs. I don't know if we're going to see that this game. They've got too many good birds to be playing, I feel.
Yes, I concur, and especially with Clark Screams gone down, I don't know if Iskel wants to lay eggs and give them, a free qualifier for this end of round. It's probably something that's going to, yep, it's probably going to have to be done for the end of round. But hey, you're winning it playing those 4 eggs uh,
For
versus
sure.
Captain Awesome's one. So we
I do think
got,
some I do think something
yeah.
has gone a little bit awry here. I think playing that common swift might have hurt tempo overall. Because I'm looking at the situation here. So once this hooded warbler goes in, then what? There's the kind of natural question, like, do you play Avocet? Like that feels odd. But
It's
you
definitely a situation where you lay eggs to qualify and gain food to maximize those worms on the Swift, making
I mean,
sure
I
to
agree with you,
avoid.
but it doesn't make sense. Like the problem here is that um, laying eggs removes any doubt in Captain Olsen's mind that they're going to get an egg or not on the Clark's Grebe. And yeah, like the sequencing is just I just feel is a little bit off by playing that Swift. If they'd kept that Swift, done Hooded Warbler first instead, they keep the EOR qualified, then they've got that turn to burn, forcing Captain Olsen into a situation where they have to decide whether they lay eggs on the Grebe or not. And then if they don't lay on the Grebe, you don't actually have to lay eggs to win the end of round, and you can just kind of suffocate them that way. So maybe a little bit of a missed
True.
opportunity there, but we're going
I
down the
think it's
rabbit
going
hole
back.
now.
It's going back to that mentality. Is you have that teal in your hand, and yes, it hits a bonus card. it hits this in the round, and in your head, there's a false demand to play it because the end of
Yeah,
round requires it. I have all this worms, and it's a teal. If I don't
yeah,
play this teal now, then that means that I'm not going to be able to use its power. But again, you're right on the money that now you have to dedicate the second to last turn for laying eggs instead of the last turn, or better yet, no laying eggs at all to maximize this in the round.
yeah. But I mean, it's probably not going to hurt them too much. I think it's just become a little bit awkward, but that's okay. It's the only negative consequence here is that Captain Awesome will qualify the end of round for free. Um, they can't really
But
do anything with that.
yeah, I was gonna say, then what do you do, right? Because uh, remember that the cuckoo lays it on themselves, and the cuckoo will lay it on your star nest. Then what do you do? You're not winning the end of round by laying eggs. I feel like you have plenty of cards you want to play, and gaining food now uh, at the end of round it just doesn't feel as efficient as it could be. So yeah, just these awkward last turns of rounds for Captain Awesome.
Yeah, always difficult to navigate these situations, but I think their only choice is um well, first of all, count your cards and make sure you've got enough to cycle on the rough. If you need it, then go for it. Did I see breeding manager there? That is unfortunate.
Yep, that's what the Godwit pulled.
That's so unfortunate. And if you have enough cards, great. If you then you should go grab some food because you're going to need that extra food to be playing birds in round four. But if you don't have cards, you've got to grab those first.
For sure, for sure. We're seeing Eskele doing quite well with their bonus cards. However, Captain Awesome has yet to find one cherry bird besides that marsh wobbler. Uh, so here's hoping that the rough can bail them out. And they can't be grabbing nectar right now. Uh,
Surely
they
not.
must be. Yeah. Okay, there you go. I think they realized.
Yeah, like you said it earlier, it's these awkward last round plays. Like the tempo is just kind of off. Now, what does the scale do? They've got a fun decision here. Do you take food and try and maximize your points from the common swifts, or do you do something else? I don't
I'm a
hate
fan
laying eggs
of,
here.
yeah,
I,
because you're
I,
going to be getting four worms. I mean, excuse me, three worms and a cash on the nut hatch. That's a 4 point turn. Meanwhile, laying eggs, that's already 4 points. Drongo gives you a fifth. Tuck on Amunia gives you a six. You've got good enough birds. You don't have to activate that goal. So yeah, laying eggs,
I,
knowing
I
that
think that
you're,
if we
yeah,
had done the sequencing differently and been able to do eggs on the last turn instead of what we had to do here, um, we also get into the world where we can trigger the pink power on this turn and then do eggs at the start of the next round and skip the trigger on the pink powers.
very
So
true, very true.
it's really you're getting half the penalty if you're able to do those turns back to back. So I can kind of see that being a thing where you do egg, take food twice, and then play two
Play your,
birds.
yep.
Yeah,
But it
that
looks
seems
like
okay to me.
it is a forest action here. Although I do like the optimization that you just mentioned. Folks forget that the pink powers do not activate uh, when you have back-to-back turns during the rounds. And yeah, it looks like, I think rightly so. You've got four big wetland birds in your hand.
Okay.
You gotta be you gotta be getting some food. Although not all of them are gonna be able to go down. Scale only has three eggs, so uh, one of those birds, probably the avocet, will not be making a show.
All right, we see some difficult decisions over on Captain Olsen's side. They tuck the mush wobbler. A little bit surprised to see that. I feel like that's a bird that hits their bonus card and plausibly is valuable.
If no
They
yellow
keep
powers
Swainson's
go down
Hawk.
though, yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
Swainson's Hawk again. Such an odd pick, but
what I
uh
will say is that if Eskele had a yellow power, which they don't, we know that. But Captain Olsen doesn't. Usually you don't want to play those early anyway, so you might have maybe gotten a little bit ahead of yourself. Maybe they get down a late Kakapo and you can yoink that, or I don't know what else would be really good in this situation.
I mean, that black swan looks nice. Unfortunately, no 100+ centimeters birds on Captain Awesome side. However, I mean, you have the black swan lays an egg on its own self. So, presumably a marsh warbler could copy that power. And,
Good, yeah.
it's at least a berry bird, which at the point, Captain Awesome does not have any.
So now Eskele's going for okay. I feel like they've just missed the trick around pink powers here and just kind of locked in on trying to play all the birds. Because I think if you do want to do this, there was other ways to go about it. But that's okay. I mean, again, I think they're going to be just fine when it comes to how things are going to play out. Maybe they actually are going to target this black swan as well, which I guess they've got the Philippine eagle already. Frigate bird would qualify. Woodstalk would qualify. So if they can get 3 birds into the game, then that's not bad.
For sure. For sure. And it does help with duologists, not that this scale's gonna have
Yeah,
any difficulties
people
laying
people
eggs.
do forget that these yellow mass egg layers at the end of the game are like really good companion pieces for urologists. Those and the lay on mini bird whites are both very 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 valuable when it comes to meeting the objective of that bonus card.
For sure. Here we're getting free eggs or Captain Awesome, but at this point, it's time to gain food and play the birds we've got. Uh, I don't see how digging at this point would help. And again, they still have some bonus birds. Maybe you see the Clark Nutcracker go down. But that in game, there's just so much more to be desired. The only, silver lining we see on Captain Awesome's board is that they are dominating on all three nectar habitats.
Yeah, correct. And in fact, the one habitat which could even remotely be in contention is the grasslands, but that's already full. So no threat of losing that. Visionary leader, love to see that.
Oof, neither of them are going to be compatible with a scale strategy unless we see a wedge-tailed eagle go down. But then again, not a you don't have that fourth bird bender. And
uh,
as far as visionary leader, you want to be playing birds, not laying eggs, and that's what they're gonna keep. So maybe
I
hitting
mean,
that lower bound is
they can get away with it though, and I don't hate it because it actually just makes their egg turns a little bit better. They can play a bird, they can do food, bird, egg, and I think they can qualify visionary leader off of that.
for sure. I see the black swan going in if that's the one bird they play. Um, but we
Yeah.
will see. We will see all of those nice birds. It looks like Clark's Nutcracker did go down for Captain Awesome. I do recall that they have platform builder,
Yes, they do. Yeah.
so but I do not believe that they will be hitting the lower bound, as the priority is probably that bonus bird. Unless, hey, maybe we'll see the Swainson's Hawk finally.
Yeah, entirely possible. They can get at most 4 food, so if they get perfect RNG on the feeder, they can play both. But
Yeah,
they will be relying on an egg turn from a skull to qualify end of round. And it looks like they're going to get that egg turn. So now they just need perfect luck on the reroll.
we will see.
Yeah, so they have
Looks
to take
like,
worms. They have to take worm
yeah,
seed here and then hope they can get a seed from the Nutcracker and a nectar or a rodent. as the remaining food. So, bit spooky. Guess we'll see.
Careful egg management over in Eskele's part. You got to be cognizant not to lay eggs on all of your big birds at the same time. They do have to be qualifying for this end of round, which I think they will win handedly as long as you keep them on the star nest.
Yeah, it should be okay because there's 6 eggs between the gull, Minia, and white stork. Oh, sorry, wood stork. Sorry. And there's a maximum of 4 spots. So I guess there's actually 6 spots now with the Clark's Nutcracker into the game. So they should at least
You
tie.
you could potentially see Captain Awesome gaining food, playing that bonus grassland bird or maybe the Swainson's hawk to fulfill his platform builder, and laying eggs to maybe compete, tie slash win this EOR.
Yeah, you can see it. I mean, I don't really see the pathway for them to winning this end of round. I think it's very, very, very difficult. I think they're better off playing Swainson and Greater Prairie Chicken for the bonus opportunity. If you pull an ESP, who knows? It's 9 points. Could do some work. You've drawn Enclosure Builder. Why not get some good luck when you draw bonus cards for a change?
True that.
Get
We do
the
see,
universe to balance your karma.
and we do see the gold being activated and trying to hit that lower bound of Visionary Leader.
Yep. I mean, you also have a choice here where you can just lay eggs again and get the upper bound as well. So I guess we'll see what way they decide to go, but they've got options. You love to see options.
For sure.
And
And
taking
looks like
food.
they got 2 nectars on that. And here comes the real roll for the seed. Do they get
Uh,
it? And they do. So will they
yeah,
be
but
taking it?
they took the wrong food on the initial food pull. They took the fish to get the reroll for nectar, which means they don't have enough food to do Swenson and the prairie chicken anymore. So now they have to make a decision. Do you want to play Swenson or do you want to play prairie chicken? It's a difficult choice, very, very difficult choice.
Looks like the
And
black
goes,
swan is
yeah,
going down. So we'll probably be seeing uh, more eggs coming in from Eskele,
yeah.
trying to hit that. Yeah,
I imagine they take the egg off the eagle here and just challenge CaptainAwesome to say, okay, I've got 6 eggs. Can you get to 6 eggs?
low
Make your
hesitation
opponent
here
prove
with
it.
the food selection. Yes, like in what world do you not play the seed worm? There we go.
I think they're just considering whether or not this is the way they want to go, whether they want to lay eggs again, potentially play something else. Just evaluating all options, because once you play this bird, you are committed. Blight's
For
Hornbill is
sure,
a very good bird, so I mean, maybe they're thinking, perhaps I can win the Forest Nectar if I get good luck, play Blight's Hornbill, lose the end of round, but get a ton of tucks. Let's just be sure, right? Once we do this, we are committed.
for sure, for sure.
But I do think that this is
Uh,
indeed the correct play.
Black Swan's going to be getting 3 eggs as a 9 point play before the eggs. And we finally do see the Swainson's Hawk come down. Picked up
All right.
Oso early in round 2. Maximizes their platform builder.
So that does mean that CaptainAwesome will win the end of round now. So without the ability to play the prairie chicken, you throw a card, you lay 4 eggs, you go to 7, and you say, well, you challenged me, I have risen to the challenge. And I think that's totally fine for a skull. I don't think they're all that bothered, to be honest. I think they can just hit this engine, get a couple of points, be happy with life.
That's the small victories for Captain Awesome. Hasn't been the most efficient game. A couple of mistakes here and there, but Hey, at least you win that into round 4. You can plant your flag and say you did not sweep me on all the end rounds.
That's true. Yeah, I think it looks tough from where I'm sitting, but if there is any salvation, it comes in those nectars. Because sweeping those, getting a clean 9 point advantage from that is very nice.
Here we see. I can't recall a visionary leader has a requirement of how many cards for max points.
I want to say it's like 8 for max, or 7 for max points. Sorry, it's just no, wait, no, it's like 5 to qualify and 8 for max. I think it's like bad.
Oh, there, yeah, it goes. Yeah, so with 6 cards in hand, they can get to 8, but you also have to
Yeah,
keep in mind Uologists. So, uh,
I think you can
but
see the writing on the
it
wall
sh-
here.
yeah,
I
yeah, it
think
shouldn't be
just
an
take
issue
the egg
there.
off the eagle.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
you can't win. You expect to lose this end of round, so just take the egg off the eagle. Oh, they've laid on the white stalk as well. Oh, I really disagree with this.
Yeah, I concur. Yeah, hopefully they go back and notice their mistake. Um,
I mean, is this a mistake? I mean, what does this do for the end of round? This gives them 8 eggs, so I guess it wins the end of round. But you're losing points on the
2 eggs.
spawn.
Yes.
Are you losing points on neologists? Maybe not.
No,
Maybe
because
Black Swan qualifies.
Swan
Yeah,
qualifies for Uologist, so it's not an issue there. I think all in all, keeping the eggs on the nest is the correct move. Because your opponent is going to be laying eggs. They're going to have 8, so you tie it up instead of that six
yeah.
point
I
swing you
think
do have.
yeah. If I'm well, it's only a 3 point swing if they tie, so I think it's a net 1 point play. So probably mathematically correct. So we'll take mathematically correct, the best kind of correct.
Here we see the final 2 tucks for the Roth. And the end an 8 point Roth.
That's okay. That's not bad getting down to
Yeah,
round 2.
it did help with a little bit of card access. The one singular egg doing a lot of work there, maxing out Zoologist. And here we see the Nectars with Captain Awesome winning all of them. But as we see the points climb,
That's a
I
pretty
think we
sizable
all know
bird
the
advantage.
yeah, the writing, as you say, is on the wall.
Yeah. Hard to see what the exact things are from the pixels, but you can kind of see how the graphs are stacking up, and it looks like it's going to be a very comprehensive victory to Eskele. Very fortuitous EOR plus Franklin Skull combination coming in pretty big.
For
So we'll
sure.
go ahead and undeaf and unmute the players. And GG's to both of you. So tough game.
Oof. You think?
Oh hey,
Your
sure.
thoughts, Captain Awesome.
Oh, that was just horrifying. It was like nothing at all went right. It was very difficult start to finish. It just a brutal game for me. And he played very well.
Yeah, we did see
Not
you
much
had
else to
some
say on my part.
we did see you have some connection issues. Did that affect your playing, or was it really just no luck on the card draw and those eggs that you were expecting didn't arrive, the nectar you were expecting didn't arrive? Uh,
Yeah, I think it was more of that. I think, when you get the pink powers, especially with a Franklin's Gull, you expect to get some production, but it's always difficult in a two-player game. Like they can sort of load up at times and really then starve you a little bit. And the birds I'm playing are low point birds. 1 point Drongo, 1 point Kugel. So yeah, it's just a very difficult way to play in a 2P, and it doesn't always work out.
For sure, for sure. Eskele, great performance there.
Thank you.
We saw you have a couple of options there towards the end game. Can you go ahead and describe your train of thinking? You had a fantastic grassland set up by the end, but also some big point birds. What made you decide on choosing the avenue you did?
I was pretty food limited, so I just played what I could. I was trying to avoid eggs to just take away everything I possibly could from Captain Awesome. Sorry, I stopped streaming, so I can't show it. But I figured if I could get away with like skipping a couple egg turns round 4, that would just really punish the pinks, which Rule 16 came up back to back, which was kind of annoying. But then I pulled up Uologist, and then I pulled up Visionary, which I needed to hit Franklin's for, and the end of round, and I ended up egging anyway, so I could only get down the Stork and the Swan, and all my other big ones just had to sit on the bench.
Well, it looks like the ones that came out did their job, and congratulations on the win for you, Eskele.
Thank you.
Yeah,
All right,
thank you
folks,
both.
that wraps us up. Yeah, thanks for coming through and allowing your game to be streamed. And for our audience, if y'all are interested in streaming your MLW game, don't forget about that open considered to be streamed, open to be streamed role
Open to
on
be
Discord.
streamed.
Open to be streamed. Looking forward to more streamed games and this productive MLW season. Thanks so much for having me, Plexa.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. See you all next time.
Thanks, Paul. Love that.